welcome everyone to the 2022 edition of the Indie Games Festival from Google Play. My name's Julia Hardy and I'm going to be your host today. Congratulations to the people who created these 20 games that made it to the finals today. And of course, thank you to everyone who entered. I hear it was very, very tough to narrow it down to just 20 finalists. To kick us off today, we have a message from Leo from the Games Partnerships team at Google Play. So let's hear it from him.
Hello, Julia, and hello to everybody around the world. Congratulations to all the finalists today. It's so good to see everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to execute your passion, your vision, your ideas, bring them to the forefront, and continue to build and create amazing things. We're really excited to support you through the Indie Games Festival and also the Indie Games Accelerator. We love partnering you with mentors and trainees. At the end of the day, though, it's what you build, it's what you create, it's what you bring to the table that is so astounding and amazing and wonderful to see. Y'all are the ones who have the opportunity to change the world through what you're building and what you're creating. You're the ones who influence others to continue to design, to create, and to build. So we're in this process together. We're building something incredible together, and we can't wait to continue to support you. You've all been participating in the Indie Games Festival. Y'all know about the Accelerator. I can't wait to hear who the finalists are in the festival. I also can't wait to hear the next class is going to be in the Accelerator. We have even more programs coming your way because you're important. You matter. What you're doing is really, really, really special. And I can't wait to see more games, more people enjoying your games, and more people continuing to want to build these incredible independent games and share them with the world. So thank you so much. Really excited to see everything that's going on. And back to you, Julia.
Thank you, Leo. I can't wait either to find out who the winners are. There is so much at stake today. So many great promotions for the games. So many more people around the world are going to discover them. Even marketing campaigns worth over 100,000 euros for each of the 3 winners. And yeah, of course, there's a trophy too, because trophies are cool. Picking the best games is a bit of a tough job, and to tell us how they're selected, we have Dan, a jury member from the Google team. So, hey Dan, let's talk a little bit about what's the jury's process? What exactly do you look for?
Hey Julia, it's great to be here, and thanks to everyone who has shown up to play. Together with some Google colleagues, industry veterans, and last year's winners, we are essentially looking for 4 things: innovation, fun, design, and production quality. Talking about production quality, I'm particularly interested in how the games take advantage of the hardware on both mobile and tablet form factors. Since I'm testing on multiple devices, I'm also looking for games that make it easy to pick up and continue to play on whichever device I have handy. Our finalists bring tons of creativity and passion to their games, so the jury's job is not easy. I can't wait for you to reveal the top 10 and the 3 winners, so back over to you.
Thanks, Dan. I can't wait to see what you've all decided. Playing all the games sounds like a lot of fun, and I have been partaking a little bit myself, but you know the added responsibility of having to make a choice? Not so much. The 20 finalists are pretty cool, and as Leo said, it's great to see how amazing people turned ideas into real games that are very, very fun to play. But today, only 10 will make it to the top, and only 3 of them will win. So our finalists must be pretty nervous right about now, so I feel like I should just get on with it. So here we are. Are you ready? Okay, so in the top 10 are DT Space Races, Dungeons of Dreadrock, Fury Unleashed, Get Together, a co-op adventure, Gladiators Survival in Rome, Kitty Q, a quantum adventure, Please Touch the Artwork, Quadline, Square Valley, and Wingspan. Let's have a closer look at each of these games. DT Space Races, a brilliant space race game where I think I've never felt so panicky about my hand-to-eye coordination. Dungeons of Dreadrock, one of those games you think that you'll know how it will be to play and then are pleasantly surprised how innovative it becomes and how inventive the rooms are. Fury Unleashed, the comic book-themed roguelike game with its endless chaotic comboing, with moments where you know you did something awesome, but it moved so fast you're not 100% sure exactly what you did. Get Together, a co-op adventure. A beautifully designed adventure for 2 players where you go on a cooperative quest where you have to communicate with each other to help solve the puzzles in each of your worlds. Gladiators, survival in Rome. You'd think the hard part would be fleeing Caesar's army, but no. The challenge has just begun, as now you have to survive, fight, and build your way to a happy life. Kitty Q. We've all had an animated chat late at night about Schrodinger's cat, but now we argue no more, as it's alive. Well, literally half alive, half dead. Please touch the artwork. This game is a really interesting, story-rich play on paintings and art, using well-known abstract images as the inspiration for a series of increasingly befuddling puzzles. Quadline, a seemingly super simple concept using just squares and lines that somehow evolves into some quite challenging and interesting puzzles. Square Valley. This is a very unique world creation puzzle game, using tiles and chess-like placements to create your world, all whilst factoring in the needs of each build piece. Wingspan. This game takes you on a card-based adventure to make your wildlife preserves the best and attract the most unique specimens. See, I told you there were some great ones there. Now, out of these 10, who are the very best according to the jury? Let's find out. So just remember, there's no ranking here. These 3 games are equal winners. So again, in alphabetical order, the winners are Dungeons of Dreadrock from Germany, Please Touch the Artwork from Belgium, and Quadline from Ukraine. Huge congratulations, and I can't wait to speak to the people who invented these games, as I literally have 1,000 questions I want to ask them. Look at this, so excited that they won. I think everyone was like not quite ready to go, but that's all right because we are joined now by Christoph, who created Dungeons of Dreadrock. Christoph, can you hear me?
Oh, wow, it's incredible. It's really incredible. I didn't expect this, and I'm very happy. I'm out of my mind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
feel very honored to be here.
I mean, obviously, we showed a little clip of like what the game is about, but do you think you can kind of sum up your game in a sentence or two for those who maybe haven't played it?
I think I didn't write. I have audio issues, and I didn't get the question. I'm sorry.
Ah, okay. It was, can you explain your game in a couple of sentences?
Oh, explain the game. Okay. It's a top-down, grid-based, puzzle-focused dungeon crawler, or you could just say it's a game for everyone where you are a sister and you rescue your brother from a ritual that an evil is going to cause him. It's a puzzle game, a puzzle adventure.
Yeah, I mean, you created over 100 bespoke levels for this game, which is amazing. I had a question though, which is, how do you know when to stop making levels? When do you stop? Was it supposed to be 100 always?
I'm sorry, I have the other audio of the tech department in my ears, so I didn't get your question.
Maybe the tech department
Chris,
can
you
pass it
get
on.
up?
Is it, did you always anticipate it being over 100 bespoke levels? Was that always the kind of the plan from the start?
Okay. I think I still didn't get the question, sorry. Well, let's just say, can you type the question to me and I could then answer? Be perfect.
One of the tech guys will be dealing with this right now. Let's can you hear me a little bit better now? They're telling me it's
yes,
better.
I can.
Here we go.
Now.
Now we're together. Excellent. So, Christoph, my question was, you created, 100 bespoke levels for this. Like, first of all, that's amazing. Well done. They're brilliant. But also, how do you know when to stop? Like, was it always supposed to be 100? And when do you know when you're finished?
No, there was a composition process. So at first I tried to, when I made up the design mechanics, I tried to create levels, and that is, I tried to create puzzles. And when I had 50 or so, I was sure, okay, this will work out. And I kept on creating, and I thought 100 would be a good number. So after I had 120, I cut it down to the 100 best, something like that.
How long did it take to create this game? Because it feels like there's a lot of attention to, and you've got a lot of other things on the go as well. You're a scientist and a professor. You're a dad. How did you do it? Like, I can barely do one thing.
Yeah, thanks. I mainly did it at nights, I guess, most of the time. It took 2 years of my leisure time, and thanks to COVID, when we had social restrictions and no one could visit, it was a good way to distract myself from that situation.
I mean, it's such an incredible game. Are you surprised by the reaction? Because I think from the style, people make assumptions about what the game might be, and then you play it, and it's just completely inventive in a way that you just don't imagine that it will be. Are you surprised by people's reactions?
I'm very, very grateful for every positive reaction on the game. It really means a lot to me. And I didn't actually make the game to make a lot of money. I made the game to tell a story and to bring this story of gender equality to people around the world. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Very grateful for any voice that says they like the game.
Well, it is brilliant, I have to say. And just one very quick final question for you, which is to anyone out there who wants to make games or is making games, what's your top tip?
I think I'm not in the position to give a tip. I think making games.
You absolutely are. Don't be crazy. You just won an award.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay. Okay. Then my tip would probably be make a game that you yourself would love. And that's it.
Oh, well, that is brilliant advice. Christoph, huge congratulations. The game is brilliant. To anyone out there, you definitely need to go and play this. Thank you so much. And I believe now we have Thomas, who made Please Touch the Artwork. Thomas, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah,
there
I
you
can
are.
hear you
Look at
loud
you,
and clear.
Thematically coloured. That's amazing.
I hope it's not too disturbing to people at home.
No, it's like playing a video game from the past. I love it.
Very retro.
Very retro. So for, the people out there that perhaps, I mean, we've seen some of the graphics and the images, obviously, of your game, but can you sort of explain a bit about what the experience of playing your game is like?
I would say the experience in itself is a bit abstract as well, just as the fact that it's based on abstract artworks. You have to kind of figure out how the games work. It's trial and error, I always say. And I used to say that it was a metaphor for the creative process of the artist, right? Where you have to try out stuff, discover what works, what doesn't work, fail, dust yourself off, and try again. And that's basically what the game's about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is really fun, to just be kind of let loose into this world and like what actually works. What can I interact with? It's very exciting and very kind of exploratory. I really enjoyed playing it. And
thank you so much.
I think one of the obviously there's no point asking you where does your inspiration come from, because it's very clear where the inspiration comes from. But was there kind of a moment? What was the moment where you're like, yes, that's the game I want to make?
Wow, that's a really good question, because I've been looking for a long time what I want to make. A bit like this creative process. I felt like I was experiencing the same thing. I knew what I didn't want to make, but I that doesn't mean I knew what I did want to make, right? But I was reading this book about modern art and art history in general, a bit like art history for dummies, but way better. And it was just this romantic vision of these artists early 20th century, gathering in Paris, talking about society and stuff that bothered them. And I just wanted to do something with that. I wanted to bring art to the people. I knew I wanted to focus more on adult subjects, right? I didn't want to make games for children. So I was just wondering, like, what do people of more adult people like and do often these days and ages? And it's watching art, going to museums. So this was kind of my angle, my hook, and so I kind of knew I was on the right track when people started telling me that they really liked it. Yeah.
What's been some of the loveliest feedback you've got that you've heard?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of different feedback. That's the wonderful thing about this project, is that people like it for different reasons, right? People that know the art like it for the art, but people that don't know the art like it maybe more for the puzzles or for the stories, but are also impressed by the art. And this was kind of the original setup as well, thinking that Mondrian's art is so universal. It's been lasting so long. 100 years later, it's still it has a huge impact on all facets of modern day life and industries. And I think this is what made it attractive to such a big audience. Yeah.
And I think definitely as well, like, if you were to just visually look at it, you probably think like, oh yeah, okay, so it's like puzzles within the artwork, but actually there's so much more around it and the story around it, which makes it really surprising. Was that kind of the plan from the start, to have kind of more kind of seeded within sort of the puzzle realm?
At the start, I didn't really know how serious I wanted to make the game. Like, was this going to be a game that kind of explains art, or is it just about experiencing it? I knew I didn't want to make a serious game. I really don't like the name serious game in general. Like, it doesn't have any meaning. Imagine people saying, "Oh, I'm going to see a serious movie." Doesn't make sense, right? It's still a form of entertainment. So gradually, the actual facts or info got a bit to the background, and you can still see some Wikipedia-like facts about the artworks in the menu, but it's optional. So it's actually more anecdotal. You experience a little background story about the painter, but you're not really sure if this happened or not. And all of the other stories are actually fictional. So yeah, it's more about experiencing the art than actually teaching you the full background, I think.
But sometimes that's like the best way, to learn about something, is without it being kind of fed to you in that way. You kind of assimilate it more in a natural sort of way. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. So I do have one final question for you, Thomas, which is, so obviously, you made this great game. You're an award winner now. Isn't that fun to say?
Wow.
What would be your top tip to anyone out there who'd like to make games? What kind of advice could you give them?
Well, I think it's a bit of a cliche answer, but just try to think outside of the box. Try to do something completely different, right? Try to take, as I did, this subject that a lot of people find interesting, but hasn't been tackled in games that much nowadays. Like this is exactly what indie games are good for: is to experiment, to take this extreme, different point of view. And not just try to copy what has been done in the past. So I think that's my 2 cents. Yeah.
And that filters down to all video chat as well, apparently. I'm talking about how you
Sorry?
look right now.
Ah,
It just
yeah,
blends
sorry.
through your whole life now, Thomas.
Exactly. I even have socks. I have like a cloth to clean my glasses. That it has the Mondrian motif. So I'm
You
full
can't
branding,
even see
yeah.
green anymore. That's okay.
No, it doesn't exist in my realm.
Well,
Yeah,
look, huge
true.
congratulations. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you
It's a
so
beautiful
much.
game. Well, well done. And also now we're joined by our third winner, Ivan. Welcome. So you made Quadline. How are you doing? Can you hear me? No, we can't. We're going to have to guess what Ivan is saying. Also, I don't think Thomas can even see him with that green background there. It's a color that just deleted from his life right there. No, what is it? It's not even there. Until we get Ivan back, we'll have, what do you guys, Christoph, are you actually...
Welcome, hi.
Oh, no, wait, he's here. Ivan, how are
I'm
you
fine,
doing?
thank you everyone.
Hello, congratulations.
I hear you.
Excellent. Congratulations on winning. Quadline is a brilliant, brilliant game. So obviously, like some of the viewers got like a rough idea of like what the game is. Perhaps they haven't played it yet. Can you
Okay.
just sort of simply explain
How
what it
about
is?
that? Hi.
Hi, hello. I feel like that creature's... Okay, hey Ivan, can you hear me now?
Expand my game. So it's absolutely extremely abstract game. Do you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we hear you.
Sorry.
Oh, it's the AirPods thing. Got to line in for a video call. Can you hear us now, Ivan?
Okay, hope you hear me.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Yes.
nice. So a little bit was about my game. It's an ultra minimalistic, extremely abstract puzzle game. It's just about lines, about rectangles, about cells. But I think definitely one of the coolest things about this is that it has self-explanatory flow. So there's literally no something like classic tutorials. So player just figures out how to play on his own.
It is a brilliantly, it's an incredibly simple premise, but gets very devilish. It's really, really great. I do have a question. As someone who's, well, I mean, I've never made any video game, but I've certainly never made a puzzle game. How do you go about with something that's sort of in this particular style? Once you've thought of the idea, are you just like building the levels in your head? Like, how do you do it?
Sorry, if I understand question correctly, because I hear you really bad. The question was about idea and the levels.
Yes, like how do you build the levels in your head?
Actually, about idea, I always dreamed to make a game like Quadline because I'm really passionate about innovations in game design and some design experiments. But unfortunately, I didn't have such an simple idea for this because my previous game was interesting, was innovative, but I just can't make levels easy enough for me. So just one late night, I came up with the idea. I just saw this in my head, these connected rectangles or cells, like I call them, and they are surrounded by lines. And actually, you can rotate the lines, move them between the cells, arrange them into distant patterns, everything okay. But to be honest, it happened while I was working on another puzzle game. It's not released yet. So I just decided, as a rest from the main project, just to try to make a prototype and look how it goes. But when I made prototype, I immediately understand that it is super fun, it clean mechanic, and it can be developed to much more. And finally, it is super abstract mechanic that I was looking for. I can experiment with this enough. I wanted because I always wanted to experiment with puzzle design, with player onboarding, with difficulty curves, with this self-explanatory flow. And I always want to have the ability to fine-tune levels and gameplay in more precise way because unfortunately I don't have this opportunity in my previous game G30.
So now you are a multi-award winning game maker. That's pretty cool. What would be your top tip to any game developers out there or people who are thinking about getting into games? What would be your best advice for them?
Top 10 advice?
Yeah.
Top 10 advice. Just make what you really like. Don't try to mimic some games. I don't think it's a great idea. I think every game that you can see today is brilliantly designed. It's really unique. It's passionate about game design. So I think you just should listen to yourself, and everything will be great.
I feel like that's just good advice for life anyway, not just video games. But look, thank you so much to all of you for joining us today. And huge congratulations. The games are brilliant. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing them all. And if you guys out there haven't played them, you definitely need to go and play them now because they're award winners. So you have to play them. All right, thank you so much, guys. It was such a pleasure to chat to you. And huge congratulations to all of us from here. Now, okay, next up. We're not just announcing who are the winners, obviously, of our Indie Games Festival. We are also announcing the winners, well, the class of 2023 for the Accelerator program. Now, this is going to be 30 studios from all over the world are going to be receiving mentorship and training, and you're about to find out who is going to join that class. Huge congratulations there, and I cannot wait to see what will come out of the Indie Games Accelerator for 2022 there. It's going to be fantastic, and anything that just makes more games. Just make more games, and I will play them. Thank you. It's pretty much the end of the show now, so I just wanted to say a huge congratulations to all of the games who made it into the finals, and of course to our 3 winners as well. And a big thank you and praise to you guys for supporting indie titles, because they are the future. This is where all the best ideas are going to come out from these, people who are making these kind of smaller games with kind of inventive, different ideas. So thank you to you guys, thank you to watching, and thank you to everyone from behind the scenes for pulling this together. It's been a real honor to host the Indie Games Festival. I've been Julia Hardy, and I will see you next time. Bye.